So 29, and what happens that leads you to it's time for me to actually seriously consider getting sober?
Well, I was abducted and sexually assaulted by an Uber driver. So I get on the bus trying to figure out where I'm going. And then this guy hits on me, of course, 7 a.m. I look like hell. And this guy's like, hey, I just want to say you're beautiful. And I was like, are you fucking serious right now? The taxi driver came back and dropped it off because you left all your shit in the car. And then she takes off my cover. She's like, to yell at me. She's like, get up, and big spooning a Tombstone pizza. And she was like, are you fucking kidding me? She was like, you have a Tombstone pizza with you and you don't have your purse?
Welcome back to the Seano Show. I'm your host, Seano McFarland. Today's guest is a truth teller with a Mike Tyson left hook. She minds the mess, dating, recovery, all the stuff we hide, and turns it into relief. You've seen her with Comedy Central. She built a Snapchat series, Get Money, and she's a Webby winner for making mental health fucking hilarious and human. Hanna Dickinson, welcome to the Seano Show.
Oh, thank you. What a good intro.
You are a massive talent. I just want to say thank you for making me laugh all the time.
Oh, thanks.
It's a real blessing what you do. And it's a real privilege to have you on the show. So thank you.
No, thanks for having me.
Where are you from?
I'm from Virginia originally.
Were you funny from the gate?
I think I was pretty funny in high school.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think I was always pretty funny. In high school, you're not really funny. You're kind of weird or awkward, I guess.
Yeah.
I remember I was sitting next to this really hot guy in my grade. He was like the hottest guy to me. And he told me I was one of the weirdest people he's ever met, but I was really funny. And I thought that meant he liked me. And then I realized men don't really like funny women. So that's not what he was saying at all. But so I think I've always been funny. And I don't know if I was intentionally funny as a child. It was more just the things I said made people laugh. And then as I got older, I intentionally said things to make people laugh. But I think growing up, I was just a little odd.
Were you a happy kid? Were you anxious kid? Were you...
Anxious.
A
happy kid, but anxious. I've always been super anxious.
And why is that?
I think just genetics.
Genetics? Mom, dad anxious?
Dad.
Jumpy? Dad's jumpy?
My mom is anxious too. My cousins and I laugh. And I don't think my mom and my aunt would laugh at this, but they're very, I don't want to say overbearing, but they were very tough on us. So me and my cousins, these two girls, we're all alcoholics and we all don't drink anymore. And our moms do drink. And we're like, I wonder how we got here.
Oh, got it.
Yeah. But not to blame our mothers, but It's just funny that I think our moms are pretty hard on us. But I think that's also good because I had friends in high school whose parents were so easy on them and then they didn't have a work ethic or they didn't develop discipline.
So you're in high school. What are you, studious? Are you,
Yeah.
What are you, yeah?
Straight A student.
Straight A student.
Yeah.
Wow.
AP classes, captain my high school dance team, National Honor Society.
Dance team?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
What was that like?
We were bad. We would do competitions and place 8th out of 8. So we were bad.
Right. but you enjoyed it?
I did enjoy it. I like performing. So that was the way to do it in high school, I guess.
What were you thinking? I'm going to get out of here. Were you already, where's your head at?
I originally wanted to go to UVA actually, because it was just the best school in Virginia. But then I got waitlisted for a week. And during that week, I got into USC film school.
Oh.
I had gone on NYU auditions growing up. I'd been in a couple NYU films. I always wanted to act. I auditioned for Hannah Montana as a child. So I'd always go up to New York to audition. So I thought if I was going to go to LA and pursue film and television, I should do it in college. So then I ended up getting off the wait list at UVA. I want everyone to know that. But I ended up choosing USC because I thought if I wanted to pursue this, I should go to LA.
Well, that's a very difficult program to get into. So
Yeah. So, but yeah, I felt like I had to go, and my parents are very supportive. So,
what was your first year like at SC?
I struggled because I didn't drink in high school really, and I didn't interact with boys really. So it was my first time off a leash drinking and kissing boys. And I think I had a warped perception of what I was in college for. I was talking to someone about There Will Be Blood the other day. And I was like, oh yeah, I just saw that. And they were like, did you go to USC film school? I'm like, I skipped so many films because I was partying, and I probably went out 6 nights a week my freshman year.
From the gate, it happened like that?
Yeah. They say you have, it's like, I forget what the syndrome is, but when you go to college, if you've been like a really good kid and then you go to college and you lose your mind, that was me.
Not so good with boys, not drinking at all. You get there and it's on.
It's on.
And it's pretty progressive for you.
Yeah. And I was funny, so I could laugh off embarrassing things that happened if I was too drunk. Like I remember one time I came home really drunk on a Wednesday, and I was really loud and I disrupted all the people in the lobby studying. And so they sent the RA to my room to get me in trouble. But I had at that point kind of sobered up, and I had washed my face. I had gotten into a robe, and they were like, I answered the door and I seem okay. And they said, we hear your roommate has been really disruptive. And my roommate was this very sweet, very studious engineer, first generation, this Asian girl who didn't speak great English. And I was still pretty drunk at that point. I was like, oh yeah, she was a mess when she came in. And they were like, oh, okay, well, we need her ID so that we can write her up. And I was like, oh, she lost her ID. I can't give that to you. She was too drunk. She lost it. And they said, we need to come in and make sure that she's okay, because we were told she was really drunk. And I said, okay, come on in. So they came into my room and they were like checking her breathing. And then they looked at this like sweet girl sleeping. And then they looked at me and they were like, wait, you're the drunk girl. And I was like, gotcha. That was like an example of like, I thought it was so funny in the moment, but it was just like such a crazy thing to do to someone. Yeah. I mean, she never woke up, and she to this day has no idea how it happened. But
no idea. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just, I would do crazy things and then laugh about it.
When was the first time you had concern like this might be a problem?
I think in college it was tough because so many people were drinking, and it was such a drinking culture, and there were people that were worse than me. Crazy shit happened all the time. But I think one time I passed out in a lawn.
Passed out where? In
a lawn, in a frat lawn. And this random girl and her boyfriend walked me home, and I had no idea how I got home. And then like I lost my phone or something, and it was just a very bad incident where something really bad could have happened. But I had this random girl walk me out. I had no idea who she was. And then a year and a half later, I was like, oh, hi, I'm Hanna, to this girl. And she was like, yeah, I know who you are. Like I walked you home that night. I think there were moments like that where I was like, oh, that was bad. But I never really thought, oh, I should get sober in college. I thought it was a part of being in college, and people blacked out all the time. You know, it was like, let's get blackout tonight. You know, it was just such a joke of how we drank. And so I never really saw it as a problem. And then when I graduated, I think I went to my first AA meeting when I was 22.
Right.
Because I kept fucking up and losing a phone, or
You lose phones a lot.
I lost a lot of phones. I also took a lot of ambulance rides, or I was woken up a lot by ambulances. I started to be like, okay, like once you're not on a college campus and with your friends and someone carrying you home, like you're in the real world, things get pretty dangerous, and things kept happening. So I would take a break from drinking, and then I'd be like, oh, I didn't drink for a month. It was so easy. I'm going to drink again.
Was there concern from friends? Was there concern from your parents?
My mom was very concerned, but my dad was like, she'll grow out of it. And my friends, not really, because my friends drank too. So I surrounded myself. I mean, my friends now, they did grow out of it. They don't really drink anymore. But I think it was, again, when you're in a college environment, it's just so normalized that.
And did you were able to graduate?
I almost didn't, because I failed ceramics, because I didn't really go to class, but I was doing stand-up, and I was in the stand-up competition, so I had to miss a few classes. My teacher said it was fine, but she like hated me. Also, my projects did suck, but like It's ceramics. Who cares?
Do you have any awkward coffee mugs from your ceramics class?
I have this one big pot that my dad has it in his bathroom in Virginia. And he was like, I'm never getting rid of this. This was a $200,000 pot.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
That's great. All right. So you leave, you're still drinking, you're still partying.
Mm-hmm.
You went to your first meeting. Why? At 22.
I fell asleep in an Uber. And the Uber driver couldn't wake me up because I'd pass out really hard. That was my issue. I'd pass out really, really hard when I was drinking. And so he called an ambulance. Then the security of my building called my parents because they were my emergency contact. My friend went to the hospital to find me. I never ended up going to the hospital because the paramedic woke me up. And I was like, what? What? Why are you bothering me, sleeping? I'm trying to sleep here. So I was just so rude. My mom after that was like, you really need to get your shit together. So I stopped. I went to an AA meeting because I was like, that's bad.
And how was that first experience for you?
I didn't really want to get sober.
Right.
The way people talked about alcoholism in that meeting, I didn't connect to it at all. I didn't really know what they were saying. Like one girl, I remember her saying she lost her designer sunglasses and she was so pissed about it. And she's like, but I know that's my alcoholism just acting up. And in my head, I was like, no, you lost your fucking sunglasses. Like, I'd be pissed too. Not everything is alcoholism. Everything felt like people were sober for 6 years and they were still like, this is so hard. Like, and I'm like, these people are sober and they're not happy. Like,
no buy-in for you.
Yeah, I just wasn't buying.
You weren't ready.
Yeah, I wasn't ready. I was like, this is just, no, I'm not this. And then I'd hear horrible stories and I was like, well, that's not me.
Uh-huh. And
I remember one woman said to me, because I was like crying in the meeting because I was just like, I don't know if I need to be here. It's just emotional to be in an AA meeting at 22. And this woman was like, even if you don't feel like you should be here now, it's good. You want to be here before you feel like you have to be here.
Mm-hmm. And
I was like, sure. And then I was sober, I think, for a month or two, and then I started drinking again.
Party on. And so you're living in LA still?
Mm-hmm.
And how are you earning your living? Are you doing stand-up then?
I'm doing stand-up, and I was Pauly Shore's assistant.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Wow. That must have been interesting.
It was interesting.
What was your tap out moment? When it was like, I'm done?
When I was 29.
29. So 7 years you kept doing the dance. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
There were fun times in there, but there were still bad moments and my anxiety was so horrible. And the way I acted with guys is so embarrassing to think about now. I couldn't even tell you one guy's name that I probably texted like 7 times in a row. You know what I mean? Like I was just a love addict in a way because I was drinking and I wanted the attention from whatever guy would give it to me. And a lot of my friends when I was in LA from college were big drinkers too. So it didn't feel like I was that crazy, if that makes sense. I was a little bit worse than everyone, but only a little bit worse. When I was drinking, it was like I needed to be talking to a guy constantly.
Getting the attention.
The validation. And when I stopped drinking, I just stopped caring about that as much. And I think it's because I had more self-esteem.
Okay. So 29. And what happens that leads you to it's time for me to actually seriously consider getting sober?
Well, I was abducted and sexually assaulted by an Uber driver. I woke up on my birthday in his house in Compton. And he tried to play it off like we had hooked up. But I remember him being the driver. Like that was the last thing I remembered. I woke up at 6 a.m. and I started screaming and he let me out of the house. And I went to FaceTime my friend. But my phone, she was like, holy shit, are you okay? And then it dies. So I have a dead phone. I'm in Compton. I've nowhere to go. So I remember running down Obama Avenue, I think it was. I went to a gas station and I tried to get a charger. And the guy was like, I don't have a charger. And I was like, well, can you charge this for me or can I use a phone? He was like, no. I was like screaming at this gas station. Like, I need help. And he was just like, he just thought I was a crazy person because I looked like Charlize Theron in Monster. Like I looked absolutely insane. And so I run down the street, the main street, and I go to a motel that they have there. And I asked for a phone. They say no. I said, okay, can I get a room? I'll get a room and they'll have a phone in the room. They were like, our rooms are booked. I was like, oh my God.
Jesus. Wow.
And it's 6 a.m. So like Carl's Jr. isn't open, like not a lot's open. So I get on the bus trying to figure out where I'm going. So and then this guy hits on me, of course, 7 a.m. I look like hell. And this guy's like, hey, I just want to say you're beautiful. And I was like, are you fucking serious right now? I was like, no, I'm not. And get away from me. Like I was so rude. And I just couldn't believe that. I was like, men will do anything. And then I see a Starbucks on the other side of the street. So it's like going the opposite direction in traffic. So I pull on the bus to let me out. And then I run to Starbucks. And it was one of those moments where like in a movie where someone's like, help, and everyone freezes for a second and then goes back to their normal day. Like it was just a normal thing. And I got the landline at Starbucks and I called my dad, who called my friend who picked me up. And then I spent my 29th birthday in the UCLA Rape Center. And this was a friend who I drank with and had always not encouraged my drinking, but like was never like, you need to get sober. Never was like, you don't have a problem. And then that day she was like, you do have a problem. You have a problem. And I was like, yeah.
It hit. So whatever it hit when she said that?
Yeah. I was just like, I don't know how much worse it can get than this. Death. I was like, this is the lowest point in my life. I didn't have a lease in New York because I had actually been dating this guy in New York and we were going to move in together, but we were drinking all the time. It was like one of those relationships where it moved very fast. We were drinking. It was like, but he would yell at me all the time and he would get drunk and scream at me. And so we had just broken up. So I didn't have a place to live. Like I didn't have a lease or anything. And I was supposed to go to Hawaii after to like be with my friend for 2 weeks. Like I was just going to take this big vacation for my birthday. And I ended up rerouting everything and spending a month in rehab. So it kind of worked out in a weird way, like the timing, because I had already taken 2 weeks off of work. So my work said I could take a month. They were really good about it. And I didn't have a lease or anything. So I kind of had nowhere to be but rehab.
What was it? Did you fly to Tucson from LA?
Mm-hmm.
What was that flight like? What was going through your head after this horrible crisis, this horrible assault on you?
My mom had flown out to LA to be with me. I remember just feeling like I didn't know what to expect. And I was like, I can't believe I'm here in a way. Because again, I was a straight A student. I was in high school. I was a go-getter and I'm still a hard worker. Like I am a go-getter, but it just felt a little embarrassing. And I felt like I had failed in a way, but I honestly felt ready and I felt so mind fucked by everything that had just happened. Like I had just gotten out of this crazy relationship. I had flown to LA and this thing happened and I kind of felt like, where else was I going to go? Because all I could think about was what had just happened. And I didn't want to have to go hang out with people. There was no other place I could have gone, I don't think. Like I was going to go to the Meadows, but they had a month wait. And I was like, I don't want to wait a month. Like, because if I waited a month, I would have been thinking about it the whole time. And I needed to go the next day.
What was the greatest takeaway from Seattle Tucson for you?
I think that mental health has a lot to do with alcoholism, where I always thought alcoholism could be controlled. Like I was like, I control everything else in my life. I work really hard. I study really hard. If I have an assignment or if I have a show doing stand-up, like I can sit down and write and really focus. So I felt like I could control my drinking and that I would be able to control it. And it was just something that I needed to work on instead of letting it go. And then when I realized I had my brain scanned in rehab, which was pretty interesting. Even though people say you can't tell what your disorders are through a brain scan, I don't know. This guy read me like a book. He was
what
like,
was the diagnosis? What did he say?
He was like, oh, are you a binge drinker? And I was like, yeah. He was like, yeah, your anxiety is so high that your brain takes in one drink as medication. So that's why you continue to drink, because once you have one or two, the people have a thing in their brain that's like, I've had enough, and your brain doesn't have that. Right. And so hearing that was kind of a relief in a way. I was like, oh, so this isn't my fault. It's like when someone is diabetic or has a gluten allergy, it's like, you can't control it. Like I'm never going to fix that. I think that was like a big eye opener, and that he could see that. And I finally felt like by him reading my brain, I finally felt understood. I was like, see,
nice.
It's not my fault. This isn't my fault. I just need to stop drinking.
Mm-hmm.
I'm literally allergic to alcohol.
Right. Literally. Do you remember the first time you said, I'm Hannah, I'm an alcoholic, and you actually meant it?
I think in rehab.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
We had AA meetings in rehab, and other people in rehab were there for court ordered or whatever. And the way they talked about it, other people were fighting it, and seeing other people fight it, I was like, oh, that sucks that you're in here and you still don't think you have a problem.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like once I went to rehab, it was like, okay, I'm officially an alcoholic. Like I got a certificate of alcoholism in a way.
Right.
Yeah, I'm an alcoholic. Once you go to rehab, no one's trying to drink with you, or no one's like, oh, do you really have a problem? You're like, yeah, I've been to rehab. They're like, oh, okay, all right. You have an issue.
You got an issue.
Yeah.
What, you told me you met a really interesting woman there.
Yes.
You tell me a little about her. What did you, yeah, she sounds like fun.
She was so funny. And like, I think when she left, I was ready to go. Like we just had such a good bond, and like, she was so funny and cool. And she had a really bad Adderall addiction. That was her issue. And so she was ordering Ritalin from Mexico. And she was buying so much of it. She was on an FBI watch list because they thought she was selling it. And then she was still buying it, and she would have it sent to like a P.O. box. But because of her last name, it got sent to the local grocery store, and they opened it up. And then basically she was court ordered to be in rehab. But she was like, I think I just fucking hate my husband. Like, I don't even think I'm addicted to, like, that's where she found the source of her addiction. Like, she was just
wow.
I think. And then I ended up talking to her a year after, and she was like, yeah, I divorced my husband and I don't take Adderall anymore. I'm like, that's crazy.
How did you heal from the rape, the assault, and your anxiety?
I think the first 2 years, to be honest, out of rehab until I was 31, I was not well mentally, but it showed up in different ways. Like I actually kind of developed an Adderall addiction. Like I have ADHD, and I was taking Adderall like normally. And then after rehab, I would like take it, double up a day or triple up a day, and then go get some from my friend, but I need it. So that was like a very secret addiction I had, which was only making my anxiety worse. I like yelled at a couple guys. They were like being assholes, like normal asshole shit, like nothing too crazy, but the way I freaked out on them.
Your reaction was so severe? So
severe that they were like, one guy goes, we've met 3 times. I was like, sorry. Yeah. Like it kind of, but I think it was because I had been treated, because of what I had gone through. I was just like mad at every man, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was just like, oh, of course you're a fucking asshole. You know what I mean? Where it was just, I shouldn't have been dating for a while. I think it would come out in different ways, and I would lash out about things. And looking back, I'm kind of embarrassed by a lot of my behavior, but I forgive myself because I went through a lot. And honestly, the people I lashed out at, they weren't innocent. They weren't great people. They did some things that weren't the nicest, but I definitely overreacted. But I mean, it was just kind of a part of my healing.
And you got some therapy.
Yeah.
And you were pretty committed to it.
Mm-hmm.
And you got off the Adderall.
Mm-hmm.
And anxiety got better.
Yeah.
And you stopped yelling at men a little bit.
Stop yelling at men. I stopped going out with men. I stopped dating men. And weirdly, my anxiety calmed down a lot. And then I started dating like a nice guy last year for a little. And that was like a very nice experience. I was like, oh, men can be nice. We ended up having 0 in common. So it didn't work out. But it was nice to have like a nice experience with a man. I haven't really dated after him. So
you've been sober how long now?
From alcohol, since May 2021. May 18th, 2021 is my sober date.
Right. And you don't miss it at all?
I don't miss it because my drinking is not normal drinking. When I see other people having a cocktail, I'm like, ugh, I kind of wish I could do that. There's a part of me that wishes I could have a martini and then a glass of wine with dinner and be done. Or be able to have a martini and be like, ooh, like, that's enough for me. But I know I will never be like that. So I don't miss it. I feel like it's like someone who, has any other, is celiacs and is like, I'm sure they're like, yeah, it'd be nice to have some pasta, but like it makes me very sick. I don't miss getting sick.
And you love being sober?
Do I love being sober?
Yeah.
It just feels like a handicap in a way, socially, a little bit. It's not, but it feels like with dating, like, I have to be like, yeah, I'm sober. And I also have herpes. Like, there's just like, I wish I didn't have herpes. Like, it feels like these things that it's like when someone says they're sober to a non-sober person, it's not alarming, but some people don't want to deal with that or don't understand it. So they can't be with that. And obviously, I don't want to be with someone who doesn't understand it. That's crazy. But I think that also held me back from getting sober in my 20s because I was like, well, I want to date and I want to be normal. Like, I just want to be like everyone else. And then I've just accepted that I'm so lucky in other ways and I have so much privilege in other ways that this is just something I have to deal with. And I don't know. It's not that bad.
It's not that bad?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I feel like now I see people who get drunk. I'm 33. People who get like really drunk and really sloppy. I'm like, all right, we're like a little old for that.
Let's talk about your career.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's talk about, so how did you end up doing all this great stuff you're doing right now? Can you walk us through that?
Yeah. I got a manager. I was doing stand-up when working for Polly. I was doing like shows, open mics, doing festivals. And then this one guy introduced me to a manager in New York. And he was like, you should move to New York. And he was like a pretty big manager. He had good clients. So I moved to New York and I wrote on this show called Comedy Knockout. Within a week of moving there, I somehow got a job writing on this show on True TV. And then a few months later, I got a job at Comedy Central doing their creators program, which was essentially their digital SNL is what they wanted it to be. It ended up not being that, but I just made a lot of content for them. That led to me selling a Snapchat show, which was cool. It was a great experience and I learned a lot. I learned a lot about writing. I learned a lot about digital, that medium, and how to, I think, connect with people. But I was always kind of afraid to put myself out there and post on my own. Like I posted a lot with Comedy Central because it felt like that was a safety net. Like I'm posting with a company, they have my back, but me just posting on my own and putting in my own jokes out there felt very vulnerable. And I just didn't have enough self-confidence to like be an influencer or be constantly, I don't know, putting my comedy out there in case it's cringe or if something doesn't hit. And it wasn't until honestly my 33rd birthday, so that was May 2025, where I was like, they laid us all off at Comedy Central. Comedy Central is essentially nothing anymore. And I don't have that manager anymore. I ended up leaving him because it just wasn't a good fit anymore. And then, so I don't have representation. Like I wasn't getting into festivals. I wasn't getting auditions for like JFL, which is a big comedy competition or comedy festival where you get seen. And I felt like I had lost everything. Like I just was like, I'm not going to do like I can't even get up. Wow. I'm not getting spots. I was looking into going to business school. This was like from 31 to 33. I was like very lost.
2 years of that.
2 years. Yeah. Cause I didn't have a job. I was really depressed. And I was just like, I didn't trust myself to just put myself out there. And then on my 33rd birthday, I was like, okay, what the fuck do I want out of this life? Like, what do I want to do? And I have always wanted to do comedy. I've always wanted to perform. I've always wanted to write. And then I'm like, I should just start posting. Like, I'm just going to force myself to post at least 3 times a week. And for a year, I'll do it for a year. And if I fall on my face and nothing hits and I hate it, then like in a year I can quit. But I can't quit until I try. Because I hadn't really tried. I had been complaining that I lost my job. I wasn't getting things. Like I was in this depression of like seeing people I started with get things. And I was just like, why not me? Like, why is this not happening for me? And worried about that and looking at other people and feeling sorry for myself. And then when I was like, I don't even fucking care anymore. I'm just going to start posting. And then it like kind of, honestly, like my first few videos like hit immediately.
Did they really?
Yeah.
What was your
weird.
first one?
One of them was talking about like a shroom addiction. I had like this silly hat on was wearing this like silly hat that I had bought when I was on shrooms. And it was just basically I was at talking about this crazy cowboy hat I had because of a shroom addiction.
Right.
And it was funny. People in the comments were like, you can't get addicted to shrooms. You can't get addicted to shrooms. And I would always comment back, I can get addicted to anything.
Right.
Like, yeah, I guess you can't technically get addicted to shrooms, but why was I doing them every single day at 8 a.m.? So sounds like an addiction to me.
You made a bet on yourself. You said, fuck it. This is what I want to do. At least I have to prove to myself if it doesn't work, I at least tried.
Yeah, because I also was dating a guy after the nice guy. I actually dated another guy, and he was like, I had posted a couple videos, and he was like, it's kind of hard to date you. Like, you talk about like dating and sex, and it's like, I don't know, it's like a lot. And I was embarrassed, and I was like, oh, like, is no one gonna want to date me if I post this crazy thing and this crazy persona? And is it even funny? Like, I don't know. And then I hadn't dated anyone for months on my birthday, and I was like, do I really want to stop doing what I'm doing to maybe hopefully get a guy to like me? That sounds fucking crazy. That's literally insane. Like, if I just stop doing what I love in hopes that a guy will marry me, that's insane. Like, and also I am this person, so they're gonna find out eventually. Like, I am crass and rude and like sarcastic. So if they don't like my comedy, then they're probably not gonna like me. And so I was just like, I'm not going to date because I don't even want to think about that. And I'm just going to focus on this. And then I've just been focusing on comedy. And then I randomly like met this guy at a restaurant. I like saw him and I was like, oh, I think we're making eye contact. And then we went out. And then he's like literally probably where that door is, like so far across the room. And we're making eye contact. And I'm like, I have my friend go give him my number. And we go on a date, and he was like, oh, I have to be honest about something. Like, I know who you are. Like, I've seen your Instagram. I think you're really funny. And I was like, oh, like the reason why I was afraid of posting. And then I go out with a guy and he's like, oh, I really like your videos. And I'm like, that's crazy because I say insane shit. So that's maybe a red flag. But like, it was just interesting. Like, my biggest fear was holding me back, and it wasn't even a reality.
And so now you just don't give a fuck?
I just don't really give a fuck.
Right on.
I mean, of course, if a video bombs, I'm like, God damn it. Like, this sucks. But now I'm like, okay, like, I've always known I'm funny. I just like haven't, I lost a lot of confidence after everything that happened. And I'd gone through some personal things with friends. Like, I ended a relationship with my best friend of 12 years. And like, I just was feeling like really down. And it's hard to be funny when you're down. And it was just like, I don't know if I'm a bummer. Like, it was just really hard to be funny and trust myself and not care. So I just started posting, and yeah, I mean, it hasn't obviously changed my life yet, but it's like given me opportunities that I didn't have before.
Like, what are the opportunities that have come out of it?
People reaching out for auditions. I didn't get the audition, but a literary agent reached out. He also did not sign me, but the point is they're reaching out. And then this like podcast company reached out and we're like, we'd like to develop a podcast with you. And it's like a great company. And I was like, okay, cool. It's been like, I think I'm gaining confidence as the more I just do it.
Right. Well, yeah, well, you're very good at it. Can we try something here? Can I give you some prompts of some of my favorite reels?
Oh my gosh. I don't know. What do you mean?
Well, I want to like some of the ones that make me really fucking laugh, that I honestly think they're fucking genius. If I give you the tag, can you just talk about how you came up with it? The waitress and the dad at the resort.
A prime example of don't give a fuck is because that actually happened. We were at a restaurant. My dad and I, we took a trip called a 50-50, which he did with my brother. And it's like when I was exactly half my dad's age, like to the day or something, we go on a trip. And so we went to the Miramar Rosemont in Santa Barbara.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a really nice resort.
Yeah, beautiful place.
And it's a lot of old men and young women couples.
Right.
And so my dad and I are at dinner, and the waiter was like, oh my gosh, is it your anniversary? And I was like, no, this is my father. Like, I felt like every day at breakfast, I'd be like, Dad, can you order me a coffee just so I could say dad at the table? I just thought it'd be funny if the reason why I was upset is because my dad's too poor for me. And And I honestly wasn't going to post it because I was like, do I seem too spoiled? I got in my head, and so I didn't post it for a couple days. And then I challenged myself. I have to post 3 times a week. I have to. And my mom watched it and she laughed and she goes, "Oh, Hannah, just fucking post it. Who cares?"
Has it tracked well?
Yeah, it had over 8 million views. I'm like,
oh my God. I had no idea. I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah. And I was like, thank God I posted it. I almost didn't.
You have a really beautiful way of framing something in such a quick time that is so specific and so, it's the truth though.
Thanks.
That's exactly what fucking happens. But I've never seen anybody who actually captures the moment the way you do.
Thank you.
But you're also so fucking vulnerable and sweet and like, oh, fuck.
I think I do feel social anxiety. I do feel anxiousness. What helps me get through that now that I don't have alcohol is like, how is this funny? Whenever I feel emotion, I'm like, that's when I get inspired to like make a video because I'm like, other people have to be feeling this way. Like, I can't be the only one who feels uncomfortable when someone asks me, how are you single? Like, it's like...
Because you say the things nobody's going to say, actually.
Yeah. And I kind of do in conversation too. Like, I will say pretty blunt things. And I don't mean to, but I don't want to say it's autism, but like sometimes my friend will be like, "Hannah, you can't say that. That's so autistic." And I'm like,
You don't, yeah.
Let's get to the point. You know, sometimes I don't want to, like, I posted a video about a yoga class and people in yoga are so mad at me right now. They said I'm colonizing yoga, and I'm like, okay, well, the person that owns the studio is a white person, so I think the colonization
about leaving class early.
Yeah, people are pissed.
The Tombstone Pizza.
Oh, that was real. I always thought that was kind of a funny story, to be honest. Like, I hooked up with this guy when I was home in DC, and I went to his fridge before I left. Like, I called a car and then just opened his fridge to see what he had available to me, and he had this frozen Tombstone pizza, so I took it. And then I go home to my house in Virginia. So I go from DC to my house in Virginia. And my mom wakes me up at like 7 a.m. She goes, "Where's your purse?" And I was like, "Oh, in the bathroom." Like, I lied. She goes, "Oh, is it? It's in the bathroom?" And I was like, I don't know. Where's my purse? She was like, "The taxi driver came back and dropped it off because you left all your shit in the car." And then she like takes off my cover. She's like, to yell at me. She's like, "Get up," you know? And I'm big spooning a Tombstone pizza. And she was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" She was like, "You have a Tombstone pizza with you and you don't have your purse?" And I was like, I really had nothing to say at that point, but...
You were strongly deep in your drinking at that point, obviously.
Deep in my drinking. I mean, it was defrosted Tombstone pizza while my mother is like yelling at me and I'm so hungover.
My.
That did not feel like a...
that was a moment though, but it's very funny though.
Story.
Nobody was harmed in that.
Yeah.
What?
Except for maybe the guy who I hooked up with.
I love that you made a commitment. No matter what, I will do 3, and you haven't missed on that. That's very important. I want the audience to really know, somebody who has such a severe anxiety, that the importance of doing things that you make your mind up to.
Yeah, thanks.
It's scary.
Yeah, because I was hoping, like, I wrote down in this notebook that I have, I was like, I hope that in a year I double my following, because I have 40,000 followers. And I was like, I hope in next May I have 80,000. Like, that would be great. But no matter what, I'm just going to post 3 times a week. And that's all I can control is what I put out. I can't control what comes in, obviously. And now it's November and I have over 100,000 followers. So I'm like, okay, you really can't predict the outcome.
Yeah, you can't. One other one, and then we'll move off it. Your therapist and everyone's struggling about dating.
Oh, yeah, which is true. She said that. I actually just ended up firing my therapist, but she said that. And I was like...
Will you tell the audience what the comment was that she said?
She said everyone was struggling in dating right now. All of her patients are struggling with dating right now, which is like, I kind of feel like she might be the problem here. But then she was like, even the guys. And my first thought when she said that was like, wait, single guys? And I didn't actually say that to her in the moment, but I like...
You're thinking it?
Yeah, I was thinking it. So I thought that would be a funny bit.
It's super fucking funny. It's okay. So let me ask you this. So What's your day like? What time do you get up in the morning?
Well, when I'm in LA, I work East Coast hours. So I get up at 5:30 when I'm
And
here.
do you have any kind of ritual you do?
Not really.
No, you just get up, do your thing?
Do my thing.
Do you wake up anxious? Do you wake up grounded? Do you wake up inspired?
It depends. Sometimes I'll have really good flow with like I'm writing a lot and I have a lot of video ideas and I'm excited to post a video that day and I'll wake up excited. But then if I haven't been writing or like nothing's been really hitting for me and I have that 3 posts a week rule. But I do let myself, if I post 4 a week that hit, the next week if I only post 2, I'll let it slide because I'm like, you know, the math works out. But if I don't have that 3rd video, if I feel like I'm not going to hit 3 videos, I do have this anxious, like, am I ever going to think of something again? What if all my videos stop hitting? What if, you know, but then I just have to remind myself that like, no, I am funny and I'll figure it out. Like I have to like really tell myself that like, well, if I only have, you know, 30 videos that are funny, then I probably shouldn't be doing this.
Right. Got
it. If I want to be a comedian, then I should just be fucking funny. Right? Like, that's why I want to do it. I don't want to sell tickets and then not have anything to say. But I have to remind myself that. Like, it's not like this. I'll have my moments of like, I'm never going to think of anything again. Like, nothing's funny. Like, you know, I'll have this freak out moment. And then I have to just kind of pep talk myself like a psycho.
And you love to exercise?
I love to exercise, yeah.
Right. What do you do when you get hit with like a real serious anxiety? Assuming you do still get hit. How do you ground yourself? How do you take care of yourself? What's the techniques maybe you can pass on to some folks?
I don't know if I can say this, but I mean, I see a psychiatrist and I have a beta blocker. So, or like propanol. It's like I'll just take one of those and watch an episode of something that I like or something funny. I'll try.
So humor.
Yeah.
Humor is the best medicine.
Yeah. Most
really
of my
is.
anxiety comes from I'm not going to be able to think of anything. Writer's block gives me a lot of anxiety, or dating gives me a lot of anxiety. With dating, what I remind myself is if I'm really anxious about a guy, in 2 weeks, I'll be anxious about a different guy.
That's the hack?
Yeah.
And it works?
Like, it works because I'm like, it's so true. Like I was so upset about one guy and then
boom, one day at the bagel shop.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like,
are guys dating you? Like, are they thinking like, oh, fuck, you know, I could be one of her jokes here?
I went out with this guy a couple times and he was like, oh, you do comedy? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, how many Instagram followers do you have? And I was like at that point, I was like, like 92,000. And he was like, really? And then he looked and he was like, he texted me that night, like, I had such a great night. Like, I'll talk to you soon. Like, I had a really great time with you. And then I never heard from him again. And I was like, he 100% went and looked at my Instagram.
Check it out. Oh, that's interesting. It makes sense.
But honestly, that's kind of a relief in a way.
Right.
Again, I'm not going to change for someone. So if they're uncomfortable with it, it's probably best we don't continue seeing each other.
What's your dream guy?
I don't know.
Yeah?
I've thought I've met him like 20 times. So it's hard to say, but I really don't know. I think I've gotten a lot better at picking guys because I think...
Get a better picker?
Definitely. I think as someone with alcoholism and excitement, like when a guy's love bombing me, I can get caught up in that and ignore the red flags. But I've been better at being like, slow down and this is not sustainable if a guy's love bombing me. Or if they start pulling away, I'm able to walk away now because I'm like, this is giving me anxiety. That's when I feel the anxiety is if a guy's like really interested in me and he starts pulling away and being avoidant. I used to be like, hold on tight because I'd be like, I don't want to lose this person. And now I just cut them off and I block their number, which might sound extreme, but it just helps me move on.
Yeah, good for you.
There's no point of like continuing communication with someone if all that communication does is make me anxious. Right and on. Like, that's not going to work out.
What advice do you have to people that are struggling with the inability to get sober, but part of them wants to? They're on the fence.
It's so funny. I feel like a lot of people DM me.
Yeah, I was curious. Do a lot of people ask you about your sobriety? How do you guys?
Yeah, like people would be like, how do you get off Adderall? How do you, stop drinking? I feel like I'm an alcoholic. I don't know. Or like people will come up to me after shows and be like, hey, like I think I have a problem. And I'm like, I just kind of always say, most people who don't have a problem don't think they have a problem.
Right.
I just say that because I'm like, knowing me when I wasn't ready, even when I'd be like, should I quit drinking? Like, no matter what someone said, I wasn't actually going to follow what they said. So now I just say that.
You say that.
It's good enough.
It's good enough, right?
You know, I'm not trained. I don't know what to say. Like, all I can speak from is my experience, and I think if I was still drinking, I don't know where I'd be. I mean, I definitely wouldn't be here right now.
No,
that's for sure.
No, you're an alkie. You're a real alcoholic.
Yeah,
I know alkies. I'm a real alcoholic myself. Yeah.
My friend who he's a recovering heroin addict, but he was like, if you aren't addicted to anything, you're not that funny. And I just think people who have addiction issues are funny.
They're interesting people.
Interesting people.
They are interesting people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big time.
Fun people.
Yeah, generally fun.
Yeah.
Generally
knows
fun.
how to have a good time.
Knows how to have a good time.
Has had the best time.
Yeah, big time. Yeah, we're not a glum lot, as they say, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Can we do some rapid fire and I'll let you out of here?
Yeah, let's do it.
Fun? Favorite comedian of all time?
Oh my gosh, I hate that question because it changes. I guess, okay, so when I was starting in college, so this was 2013, 2014, I loved Amy Schumer. I just thought she was so funny. Her first special I thought was so funny, and I just related to it so much because she talked about being an alcoholic. Turns out she's a fake alcoholic. I'm like, real out. Yeah.
Wow.
You know, right now I love listening and watching Tim Dillon.
Okay.
I don't know if he's my favorite all-time comedian, but I really enjoy listening to him.
Biggest regret?
I think not getting sober sooner.
Earlier?
Yeah. And not accepting the way I am and getting over myself a lot sooner. I think I could be further along in my career, and I could just be further along.
Yeah, got it. I'm happiest when?
Probably I'm with my dog and my parents.
Your dog and your parents?
Yeah.
The world's a better place when?
Trump's not in office. Things are pretty bleak right now. It's kind of sad to see. And I don't make a ton of money. Like I work 2 jobs and I live in New York City, and I don't have a lot of spending money. So I mean, I give back where I can, but it's not like I can donate so much money or give. There's only so much I can do.
Biggest red flag you've ever ignored?
This one guy, he was such a fucking loser, and he bailed on me 4 times. And I continued to try to see him because he was hot and rich. He is someone I freaked out on in a way that was like so embarrassing. I literally lost my mind. It was like rage, blackout, anger. And I wish he had ignored me. He had bailed on 4 dates. And on the 5th one, I freaked out in a way that was like so crazy because I'm like, he bailed every time. Anyway, so the biggest red flag I ignored was not seeing me and thinking he liked me.
Got it. Okay, that's honest. I appreciate that. Hecklers are?
Drunk, usually.
Biggest movie star crush?
Dylan O'Brien.
Dylan O'Brien?
Yes.
When I look in the mirror, I see?
Age? Sadly.
Sobriety?
Kind of a relief. I used to be anxious to go on trips because I'd be like, oh, I'm going to get too drunk. Like, I hope I don't embarrass myself. Or like a night out, I'd be like, oh, don't get too drunk tonight. And now I never leave my house being like, I hope I don't make a fool of myself and eat all the tacos at this party. You know what I mean? Like it's
the song that I always have on repeat.
It changes. It's like comedian changes. I've been really into Olivia Dean, her music. I like her music a lot.
Biggest risk you've ever taken?
Moving to New York, maybe, but like at the end of the day, I knew I'd be okay. I once put myself out there with a friend really hard. Was like, I love you. And he did not feel the same way. That felt pretty risky because that did not feel good when I was certain he felt the same way. I was positive, like 100% he felt the same way.
Wow.
Did not.
Best advice ever given to you?
I do remember in rehab, the psychiatrist there, she was like, you might fall off the horse. You might drink again. But just remember, you got to get back up. And I think about her saying that in so many other situations. Like I haven't had a drink again, but like even with the comedy, how I just wasn't doing anything for 2 years. I was like, I have to get back up. Like I just have to keep going.
Yeah, fuck yeah. The hardest boundary I've ever had to set was?
I think when I ended my friendship with a girl I was friends with for 12 years when I got sober.
Right. Wow.
That was tough.
Vulnerability is?
It can be funny.
Oh, yeah. I knew I was healing when?
When I started being honest with myself. Especially especially with like the Adderall, I think.
In 5 years, I will be...
Hopefully in a different tax bracket.
Yeah, I got it.
I don't know. Now I don't really think about that as much anymore. Like, I feel like I used to be like, by 31, I want to have a special. By this, I want to have this. And that's like, yeah, you're probably going to have to reroute to rehab. So like things are, whatever you think you're going to do, it's probably not going to happen.
Got it. This has been an incredible blessing and pleasure out of the show. It's really, I want to know how much I appreciate you.
Oh, thanks for having me on. I hope this was okay.
Is there anything else you want to say?
No, I guess thanks for having me on. And, it gets better.
It gets better.
It gets better.
It gets better. Where can people see you perform at?
While I'm in LA, I do, I post on my Instagram.
Check your Instagram out. See where you're performing. Go support you. Watch all your funny clips.
Yeah, please. And sorry if some bomb. Sorry if I'm annoying, but I gotta keep putting it out there.
3 times a week.
3 times a week, at least.
You better keep doing that. All right. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
The Seano Show is a production of iHeart Podcasts, hosted by me, Seano McFarland, produced by Pod People and 28th Ave. Our lead producer is Keith Cornelick. Our executive producer is Lindsay Hoffman. Marketing lead is Ashley Weaver. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next week.